All right. Hi, everybody. We are back for, I have no idea what hour we're in. But my next guest I'm really excited about because, again, she's a friend, but also such a innovator in this space and doing great work. So Christina Carlson is the CEO of Urban Peak. And thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And I heard that you're co-hosting from 1 p.m. to 5, or 1 a.m. to 5 a.m.
I heard that too.
Yeah, you did?
I'm very excited.
Yeah,
yes,
good. Yeah,
I
no, you're not.
should
You're
have brought
lying.
coffee.
Yeah. Yeah. So there might be some people that watch this that don't really know what Urban Peak is. So it'd be great to just give you an opportunity to talk about Urban Peak.
Sure. So Urban Peak, we work with youth experiencing homelessness, so 12 to 24-year-olds. And we've been in Denver, not quite around as long as the rescue mission, but we've been in Denver 36 years.
Wow.
And we were founded in Denver when it was this realization that youth have a very different experience than adults or families. And so we provide a full convergence of services. We do street outreach. We do supportive housing. We have shelter, but we do a really funky, cool kind of shelter that's new. We have a medical clinic. We have behavioral health. We do education, employment, workforce development, case management, all of that. So we really think about that full wraparound services.
That's all? You can't do more?
I mean, today I can't do anymore. Today, that's it. Since I have to be back at 1 a.m. Then I'm done.
That's fair.
I'm done for
That's
today.
Fair. Yeah. Well, earlier, or when we started this and I said people might not know Urban Peak, if people have been watching all of these, Urban Peak has had more shout outs on the bench so far than Denver Rescue Mission, it feels like.
So I like it. I'm competitive, so I like to win. So that's great. I appreciate the win.
This is why we get along so well.
That's so cool. You can tell me later who says nice things.
Yeah, I'll tell you
us.
later. But I mean, everybody said nice things, right? But people are like, "Oh, you're having Christina. That'll be great."
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just really grateful that you're here. And one thing that I hope caught the ear of some people that are watching this is when you gave the age ranges.
Yeah.
And you said 12.
Yeah.
What does a 12-year-old homeless experience look like?
Oh, man. So we just started sheltering young people as young as 12 a year ago, that we used to provide shelter for 15 to 21-year-olds and then services up to age 24 for street outreach and housing. But there's such a big need. And so to run minor shelter, you have to be licensed as a child care facility, and there are all kinds of special rules. You technically can only keep young people for 21 days, which makes sense because you don't want a 12-year-old living in shelter.
Right.
But also if a 12-year-old comes to you, it's not because they had a lot of other places to be. So the first 12-year-old that we had come to Urban Peak last year was, I mean, you do this work, like we care about people and we're connected to humans, and that's what drives us. But at the time, my son was 12. Oh, wow. And we had this young kid, this young boy baby walk in, and I was like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy. I think the experience is much like what you all see in the work you do. It's based in marginalization and trauma and lack of access to resources and services and, appropriate support systems and community. I think as we have seen families, like more and more folks experiencing homelessness as family units, oftentimes it's the older children that end up being separated from the family because, if you're going to live in your car and you have a 13-year-old that can go somewhere else, you're going to keep the 2-year-old with you. Right. So it's complicated for sure.
Yeah, it is. I just can't fathom being a 12-year-old, right? I can barely remember myself at 12.
Yes.
And I didn't know anything.
Yes.
Right? And to be sort of saddled with that kind of trauma is just incredible.
I do think that's, and again, like we do this kind of work because we see a lot of hope and like the change that can happen and stuff, and providing a space that's safe and supportive for a 12 or a 13 or a 15 or a 19-year-old or a 24-year-old that's developmentally appropriate is so important because again, with the work you all do, you know that a 21-year-old has a very different mindset than a 55-year-old.
Absolutely.
And so, like, differentiating the services is really important. Not easy, but important.
No, not easy at all. Yeah, and that's, of the myriad of reasons that we're thankful for you and Urban Peak. One of those is the work that you're doing with the 12-year-old and the 20-year-old will help us not to have to deal with that person when they're 40 or they're 50.
Yes.
Because
that's
of
what
the
I was
success
saying.
That
upstream work, that's I always say that
exactly
upstream work is so important, and that, like, as we think about the complexity of the experience when, an individual experiences homelessness, is that it isn't just what we see on the street corner, isn't just what we see in a large congregate shelter. Like, there are many faces and many experiences, and we have to intervene and provide those support services across the board.
Yeah, we do, because if not us, then who?
Correct.
Right, and then what happens? Nothing good happens after that.
Yeah.
So, what got you into this kind of work, and what keeps you in it?
Oh boy, that's so funny. I would say, so my mom says that I was a bleeding heart from the time I was born. I think that's maybe because I cried a lot. I don't know.
It could be, yeah.
I got interested, and I grew up in a family where we felt like we were really fortunate in what we had, and like we felt that, giving in community and like being a part of it and giving back was really important. So that was instilled in me at a young age.
Yeah.
And then I actually sorted socks at Urban Peak in high school. That was that was where I did my volunteer hours to like graduate from high school, because someone said you should volunteer to go to college. It'll be good on your college application. And I was like, oh, okay. And so I did it at Warren Village, which is another great community resource, and Urban Peak. And then when I graduated from college, I applied for a job at Urban Peak and didn't get it. And so I was a teacher. Then I went to social work school. I got my master's in social work, applied for a job at Urban Peak and didn't get it. I moved. I ran a family center in Summit County, moved back to Denver, applied for a job at Urban Peak and didn't get it. And like on and on. And then there's all of these sort of Urban Peak legends in the community that have been around. And one of them, Jamie Van Leeuwen, who's sort of everybody knows Jamie.
Jamie's going to be here tomorrow.
Oh, well, see, you can say you got Christina her job. Yeah. So Jamie called me and said, oh, Urban Peak's hiring a CEO. And I was like, I cannot get a job there.
I tried 3 times.
No, like 5.
Oh.
So, but I said to him, I was like, oh, yeah. He was like, yeah, they're hiring a CEO. And I was like, oh, I don't know anyone. He's like, no, I met you. And I was like, listen, I cannot get a job there.
Yeah.
And so now I often joke that I couldn't get the hard job because I couldn't be a case manager or anything. So now I have this job, which is also hard.
It is hard.
Also
Our jobs
hard.
are hard.
Also
Our
hard
jobs are
too.
Hard. A little bit different way, but they're hard.
Yes. But so that was, I think, what it is. And I, one of the things I say about Urban Peak that I think is true is that it really does get in people's hearts and their souls, and whatever your system of belief or faith or anything, it just has a really compelling connection for folks, and like that was true for me too. So
me too. Like I can remember, I've only been in this work in the homeless space for about 14 years. And
that's a life. That's a long time.
It is a long time.
And we get to say we survived COVID, so we get like another 20 years.
And survive is the only word that's appropriate.
Yeah, but that's when people are like, oh, I've been doing this 14 years. It should have been longer. You're like, no. With each month of COVID, I think we got like an extra 10 years.
I think, and I know that I aged an extra 10 years in each month of COVID.
Oh, I realized in COVID that when we went to Zoom, I realized I was middle-aged.
Yes.
Like I didn't know.
Yes.
I didn't know. I was like, oh, and then I would look on them like, who is that? And then I would tell all of these young people that worked at Urban Peak, I'm like, you should use neck cream. Like my advice to you, you really beautiful young 25-year-old, you should put on some neck cream, and that when you are 45 and you look on Zoom, you'll know it, because that's where you can see. That was my advice.
Okay.
That was what
Never
we were
did I
talk
think
about.
that we were going to talk about neck cream.
You knew it would be something.
I did know. I just didn't know what that something would be.
Yeah.
I have a cup in my office, a mug like that. that I got during COVID because everybody would talk on Zoom,
Yeah.
and like they were on mute. So I literally have a mug, and
that
it has a
says you're
picture
on
of a
mute?
microphone, and it
Oh
says
my
you're
gosh,
on mute.
hilarious.
And I can't tell you how many times I'm still to this
Yeah.
day. I'll be on a Zoom, and they'll be on mute, and I'll just hold up the mug.
Oh my gosh,
Like,
that's
you're on
hilarious.
mute. Yeah.
So you know, because you, when during COVID here in Denver, the rescue mission was such an important.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the rescue mission is so important always, but was it really important? Like
Yeah.
stepped in and filled a void for when we. When our community helped open the shelters at the National Western and
Yep.
stuff, but when we went to all Zoom meetings are
Yeah.
boring, and
They
there's
are,
like the
yeah.
weird first 2 minutes where
Yep.
no one knows what to do, and you're like, oh, should we talk? Should
Yeah.
we not talk?
Yeah.
Like, and then everyone talks. So I started this tradition of people could choose a walk-on song, and so like if you were
that's
coming
cool.
to the meeting, I would
Yeah.
be like, okay, what song do you want? Because I hosted all of the meetings of all of the homeless providers, and then you could choose the song, and then I would play the video. And here's what I
Really?
learned from it. And I
Okay.
have a playlist
Yeah.
of like 2,500 songs.
Uh-huh.
And the first song was chosen by Josh, who used to work
Yep.
at the rescue
Yep.
mission. And it was at the very beginning of COVID. And the first song was It's the End of the World as We Know It by REM. Because
Josh
it was like
picked
the
that
beginning
song?
of it was like the beginning of COVID. So we
Right.
were all like, we're all gonna
Yeah.
die.
Yeah,
Who
kind of
knows?
appropriate.
Like this is bad.
Yeah.
But so I learned a couple of things. It's my best Zoom trick is
Yeah.
that if someone's really annoying you, give them the walk-on song, because I love music.
Okay.
And so I was like, oh, I like that song, so
Yeah.
you're not as annoying.
Yeah.
Like we could listen to whatever together. And if you want them to be on time to your meeting, give them the walk-on song, because they want to hear it.
They want to
Yeah.
see their song played, and they want to get credit for that was my song.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Wow.
And I have a playlist of like, I think it has 2,500 songs on it. 'Cause,
Wow.
it's
Yeah.
years and years of meetings.
Yeah, right.
So-
Yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah.
All right. So you talked earlier about the way that you do shelter is
Yeah.
like not normal.
Yes.
In all the right ways. So I would
Yeah.
love for you to take time and
Yeah.
explain that.
I know it's not as interesting as neck cream, but fine.
Well, neck cream and DJing songs, but I guess we'll
also
go to the
fun.
shelter.
We do hard work.
That's
You
true.
have to have
That's
a sense
true.
of
Yep.
humor. So we have a new project that, as you know, lots of things with me start as a joke
Right.
so it was jokingly I named it the Mothership because it was the mother
Mm-hmm.
of all projects, and that I also have raised money for a long time, and so if some rich person wanted to name it, I didn't want it to have a name that would stick.
There we go.
But
Yeah.
it did stick.
Okay.
And so it's actually this really revolutionary concept. It's a 4-story building. It has non-congregate shelter, independent space for minors, so for 12 to 18-year-olds, then space for 18 to 24-year-olds. But it's all non-congregate, so no room has more than 8 beds.
Yeah.
Then the second and third floor are kind of like bridge housing.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like basically like college suites. So shared living
Okay.
and dining, shared community space. And then the fourth floor is a well-being center. And we have a medical clinic and a behavioral health space and a tech lab and a music studio and an art studio. And it's this really holistic way. And we opened a year ago, and our results are insane. They are
Wow.
so good. I was just saying we just got the first year of data on it, and I'll make sure you see it. And I was saying,
Yeah.
you all should build one. Every community should build one. I mean, we're seeing our critical incident reports are down 70%.
Really.
We are resolving homelessness
Yeah.
for folks in shelter in less than 300 days. And I
Wow.
mean, we're doing this work that is like transformational. I know you guys have worked
Yeah.
with ShopWorks, and
Yeah,
so it's
absolutely.
this trauma-informed care 2.0, and I think the space is really beautiful, and
Mm-hmm.
it's light, and it's got the natural environment, and it is designed for dignity. And
Yeah.
I do think we show up in spaces the way we feel valued in
Yes.
spaces.
Yes.
And I mean, it's extraordinary.
Yeah.
And it's a really good design for youth, but it's a really amazing
Mm-hmm.
design for families or seniors or recovery communities. I mean, I think so you should build one.
Yeah. Well,
You can call it the Fathership.
we're
Like that can be, or something else if
Fathership.
you want.
Well, we're in the middle of a strategic plan right
Yeah.
now, so it's not beyond the realm
Yeah.
of possibility. And I totally track with you though, because one of the ways I framed it before is if the facility feels like an institution,
Yes, then you feel
people will
institutionalized.
act
Yes.
right. Yeah, they'll
Yeah.
act like they're institutionalized.
Yeah.
But when you build something that's trauma informed, when
Yes.
you build something with dignity, all of a sudden, they start dreaming.
Yes.
Right, dreaming
Yes.
differently than maybe what they
Or
thought.
dreaming at all.
Dreaming at all. Yeah,
You know,
great
and
point.
I also think for us, what we learned, so we did a research study with the Graduate School of Social Work at DU and ShopWorks and our staff and our youth. And one of the things we heard so much was staff saying they are managing spaces, not engaging with youth.
Yeah.
And so if we could build space with line of sight so that you're not worrying around what's around the corner, but we're in conversation and we're being able to do this work,
Yeah.
like that creates change.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does. And we've used the term now a couple of times, trauma-informed design, and,
Yes.
and you've unpacked it a little bit, but maybe for somebody that's watching that's a new
Yeah.
term for them.
Yeah.
Can you explain what it is and why it's so
Yeah.
important?
Well, so when I started, you know, one of the things I always worry about is how language becomes jargon, and trauma has
Yep.
become jargon,
Right,
right? Like,
right.
I mean, and my 17-year-old was like, oh, I'm so traumatized. I was late to school. I'm like, that's because you woke up late. Like, you know, I mean, that's different than the experience of something
Right,
else. And
right.
so my favorite way I ever heard it explained to me around trauma-informed care is that idea of starting with not what's wrong with you, but what happened to you.
Yeah.
And I think what trauma-informed design is how does this space act as a partner and as sort of the first responder to what happened to someone. And so like in our building, there are very few corners.
Yeah.
The rooms are very rarely square. There are really high ceilings. It's really bright colors. So it's all about how is it not institutional. And so it's that extension of like, we react to the world in the way we have understood the world.
Right.
And so we are going to react to space in the way we understand the space. And that, I think, is a huge oversimplification of trauma-informed design. But I love the way that Chad, who's the architect at ShopWorks, who's
Yeah.
like the greatest,
Yeah, so
is
great.
that
Yeah.
he says he's like, it is the first line of defense in space. And that there's some research that I found once that I thought was so fascinating about like when people walk into museums, their heart rates go down.
Yeah.
Or into theaters or into symphony halls or into operas or those kinds of things because this space is
Yeah.
calming.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you think about walking into a space that's loud and crowded and chaotic and dark and institutional
Yep.
versus like walking into an art museum, how your body reacts and
Yeah.
how you show up in that space
Yeah. And
is how you're
natural
going to
light
engage.
versus
Oh, yeah.
artificial
Yes.
light, right?
And when you have lights, how they're not
Yeah.
like, you know, what we had in elementary school. Like, how are they soft and how are
I
they...
went to elementary school so long ago we didn't have electricity.
I know, me
so,
too.
You know,
Me too. It's
yeah,
because
yeah.
we walked in our bare feet
uphill, both
uphill,
ways.
obviously,
Snowstorm.
in the snow.
July.
Well, now we're in Colorado, so it's
That's true.
You
That's
know,
true.
there was snow.
Yeah. All right. So I'm getting late and tired. So Colorado, right?
Yeah.
Have you lived here all your life?
I have.
Okay. So I haven't,
have-
right?
yeah.
I moved here 2 years ago. And one of the things
Oh,
that
have we told you to go home yet? Because it's growing too fast. Just kidding. Just kidding. We love people. We love people.
you're making my team laugh.
I know, that's good.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
awesome.
it's late. It's better than a
No, one of the
snooze.
things that cracks my wife and I up is when we meet people that have lived here all their life and they're like, oh, these Colorado winters, I just can't. When
Oh,
you're from the
man.
Midwest
Yes.
and you don't see the sun for like 5 months.
Yeah, you're like a Viking.
Yeah.
Yes,
and
you're
out
like
here
a
and you
Viking.
see the sun every day.
Oh,
Yeah.
I went to college in Oregon, and I remember getting to Oregon my freshman year about like, I don't know, mid-November.
Yeah.
Calling my mom, and I'm like, it has rained
Yeah,
for 40
forever.
days.
Yep.
And I am not Noah. And she was like, what? And I was
I'm
like,
not building a boat.
yes. I was like, I know, I am from Colorado. I thought the
Right.
sun would come out. And she's
Yeah.
like, what did you think happened in Oregon? So it's the same as the Midwest. I'm
It
like,
is.
Yes.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Colorado. I mean, I love the winter because my sort of fantasy of that, if I didn't have this job, have you ever done that? Like if you
Yeah,
didn't have
yeah.
this job,
Yeah,
what
what would
would
you
be
do?
the other job?
Yep.
So mine would either be that I would choose music for TV shows,
Okay.
because then I
That
could
makes
watch
sense.
TV and
Yep.
listen to music,
Right.
which would be great. Or I would be a ski bum. And I want to be a ski bum in Colorado because
Yeah.
it's sunny.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, you
So-
can get a tan and ski all at the
Yeah,
same
so
time.
none of the. What would your job
Yeah.
be?
What would my job be?
I mean, you have to say it's this job because it's
Yeah.
what you're doing.
Well, I
but-
do have to say that, but what I also often say is, you know, my retirement job,
Yeah.
I'm going to be a greeter at Costco for two
Oh,
reasons. Nothing really is expected of you, and they have great, like, samples.
Oh, yeah. And I
Yeah.
love Costco.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not dissing on any Costco greeters, but, you know.
When my kids were really young, I would go to Costco and like walk around.
Yeah,
You know, you'd
yeah.
be like at the Costco, it was the same as Target.
Yeah.
I'd go there and I'd be like, please
Yeah.
stop crying. And
Yeah.
then you'd be in a place like that and everyone else's kids was crying
know.
and you're like, oh, thank God.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, I'm not
okay.
alone. I'm
Yes.
not alone. All right, so we only have 2 minutes left. I
Yeah.
just saw a question from
Oh.
somebody that's watching, and they said, what is
Yeah.
the biggest significant change in homelessness in the last 10 to 15
how
years? You
big
want to
that
grab
is,
it?
right?
I know
Yeah.
that's for me because I can't
Yeah,
see.
it's good. I wouldn't be able
Yeah.
to see it either. I think the biggest difference we've seen, again, just to tie it maybe back to COVID, is twofold. Is the sort of lack of community that, you know, we
Yep.
became pretty insular
Yep.
in a lot of ways. I think that is a huge change. And then I think we would be remiss to just not acknowledge the opioid crisis
Right.
as having changed things. And not because I'm trying to like say that these are the stereotypes and that folks experiencing homelessness have, you know, it's
Yeah.
mental health or it's substance misuse or any of that. I just think that that epidemic on our streets has impacted folks who are experiencing homelessness
Absolutely.
in a different way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then, of course, the affordable housing crisis.
Right,
But that's
right.
been true for decades.
That has. And
So-
it's getting worse, but it's
Yeah.
been true
I mean,
for
what
a
do you
long,
think?
long
Do you
time.
think those two pieces?
Yeah, I think it's absolutely those.
Yeah.
And the only other thing that I might add is maybe this is just me, but it seems like there's more apathy,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
and that
I
can
think
be
that's
really
about
dangerous.
COVID, though.
I think you're
In
probably
some
right.
level, too. You know, the sort of like we all went into our, not us, but
Yeah.
I mean, many people went so
Into the shell.
insular.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
your community became smaller. I mean,
Yep.
I have a puppy that I joke is a COVID puppy.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want to go for walks. He wants us all to be
Right.
home all the time.
and just
like,
sit in the
I'm
same
like,
room.
COVID's over.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
go outside.
We can go out now.
Yeah, but I mean, I think,
Yeah.
I do think those
I
are
think
really
you're right.
different.
Yeah. All right. Well, our time is up, but
Thank you
Christina,
for
I'm
having
so
me.
yeah. Thank you for everything that you
I'll
do
bring you
and for
neck
joining
cream.
me. Okay. Yeah.
I mean,
it
we've missed
is
our window.
on
No
top of my
offense,
list.
but-
Yeah, we have. That's right. All right.
Also,
thank
I'm just
you.
so grateful for what the rescue mission does in our community.
Yeah. Thank
Like,
you
we're
for
very
saying that.
grateful.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
All right, and we'll be right back.